my mother's a dressmaker now, and she had this, what we call dressmaking parlor. It was a room in the house where she had the machines. And there were always some girls learning to sew, But in this dressmaking parlor, my dear, which was a room, everybody, my mother sewed for everybody, just everybody. And the nice thing about it, everybody was a lady. The ladies were coming, and there was the food lady, and there was the coal lady, and the hominy lady, and the fish lady, and the store lady. There's a lady who she sell in store, and then the storekeeper lady, and then there was the governor lady. It went to the stage where she was out sewing for governor's wives and things like that, and they were, but and the thing that struck me as a child is that all these people would meet in this place. And Cynthia, the one strong bond between everybody there was the language they spoke. I mean, some would come in very princey and rehearsal, and after a few minutes, everyone was talking the same language. And this was the Jamaican thing, and everybody, and the laughter. And I found that laughter was very, very important to people. But what I really wanted to do was to write. Gosh, I wanted to write things, and I would write, make up all kinds of things, and started to write verse too. Yes, and people would say foolishness, foolishness. Well, write what? But then if you write, when you write, Miss Rao, where should I work? The only place I can work with writing is Gleaner. Anyhow, I wanted to write it. Oh, my mother left me so free to write. And through those years, I was able just to turn on things, even when I was writing, even when I was going to school, I was writing then. But after I left school, and then I would go around and I would take these things that I write, and I'd save them for the friends. Because I realized that I was writing in a language that was an oral language,
I run the watch of the death of pot, take up the fire, Fred. Can you send some seasoning this married turkey dead? The turkey gets a party and was trolling both fleas. When him and Kate are starving, dog, there's the thing. The turkey's hot. The dog dropping Mickey Mouse are working. It met a robot bomber diver pounced up on the turkey.
Of course, I started writing first in the standard language about the sun and the sea and things. I run along a road very lined with trees, singing to the lazy tune of the breeze. And all that, very Bugayagan. And then, but I didn't feel all this.
Miss Marabalo, let me turkey kill the dog. Poor soul. 2 man were saying about that time the turkey poor. Poor man is a gruel and fire spear on her top feet. She take what when the turkey cooked, she wouldn't touch the meat. The most started sympathizing down the and I said you're right. But here now, thank God my belly went up tonight. So one of them found 2 silver, they did some pocket tiles, half low, they brought for I'm a year away, treating style. Them still a half step so fast, and put laugh and there she falls. So film a better way up tonight when I marry she the ball.
And I was going on the tram car, and the tram car was a market, what we call a market tram. That was a tram car that would take the people from to Constant Spring, Papine, and all that sort of thing, And in the market, women would be on it with their baskets and things, but they only could sit at the back. When I got onto the tram car, when I looked at the tram car, I could only get in the back. So when I climbed in the back one, and as I was going on, say, spread out yourself, one dress over and I come. By this time, I was really a teenager, I was more than 14, but I was sort of, portly. Because I was telling you, after my grandmother died, she'd blow a good breeze on me and I started to get sort of fat. Because before that I was a marker picnic. Very thin. And the grandmother used to look at my hands and say, I wonder if they will ever grow. And then, and then she died, and everybody said, Neil, it look good priest and babes, look how she looking well. And then, so now this went up to the tram car, this woman said, spread out yourself and get someone to come. That's sweet mercy. And I started to write in my brain, I started to make up this thing. And the whole thing I wrote, within it was the protest of this woman. I mean, this was the only spot that they had, you know, as market people. They were bringing food into town and going around. And yet they couldn't dare to go in the front of the tram car with their baskets because it would be tearing people's stuff, you know, they just didn't allow them. And yet still now other people could come and push themselves in there. And so we saw the protest of the time, and I wrote it, but I wrote in the same humorous vein of the thing, the whole thing of the woman. But I just said the lies. I want this woman, I look like say, she said in this space, I don't know, I poke herself in there. But that girl should have come. No man, no space in your car. You make your food say lies. I put out yourself, that girl. You know? Oh, there you go.
Louise was now a teenager. She had attended St. Simon's and Excelsior colleges. The world outside Jamaica was changing rapidly in the 1930s, and it was changing just as rapidly at home. New leaders were rising. There was a new consciousness among the people. But Jamaica's culture had not yet been completely accepted. Even in the world of entertainment, there were two theatres: the rich, earthy theatre of the people, and the refined theatre inspired by abroad. A proper English accent was once the only acceptable one.
A friend of ours visited us. He brought a poem. He said he found it in his car because he had taken his employer to some function and he left this in his car. And it was a poem marked, written by Louise Bennett. When I read it, it was, I think, King Street Vendor. And I said, but this is terrific. I must meet little girl, as she told me that she was a student.
One night, when I was just a little before I left school, I'm going to tell you that part. That part though was this man came to the thing, to the end of the performance. And this man was well established in the theatre. He was doing chalk talk. And they used to call him Chalk Talk Coverley.
I went to Excelsior College and met her at a breaking up.
After the show, I got a book, you know, they gave me for outstanding literary something or other. And I took this book to this man and said, please to write something in there. And he said, very something talent.
So I wrote on the autograph, great success to you. You possess great talent. Develop it. And sign my name. That's the first meeting of with Louise.
The next thing I know is one evening I go home and my mother said to me, a man came here and wanted to come and recite at a concert. And it was Eric Bowman. And I said, I'm not going to the concert, brother. But he came so often, went to my mother so often about this concert, that I ended up going. It was a Christmas morning concert. I went and I recited. And I got my first fee on the stage, 1 guinea. Oh, what a joy. I got a guinea. And then this guinea could have buy shoes. I buy a pair of shoes for 15 shillings and had change.
Eric Kobe put on a show, and she was on a show, I think, for the first time. I was on the show too, and that was terrific. And people kept calling for encore all the time. And then after she talked to her, meet her, and I was amazed at how shy she was. You know, she was a young lady at the time and very shy. So different from when she was on stage doing the act.
Do you know, those days, again, the people thought I was quite crazy, and my mother was mad to allow me to do all this. I was taking news and going up into a compound town and things, to, to learn more about maroons and all that and stuff. When my first visit to the Maroon Town was about 40 years ago. And those days, there was no driving road. You had to go on a mule. I had to ride them, and they said we would send mules to convey you and that sort of thing. But then now, I really got interested in all the things. I remember the dinky and all that, and I started to really go. I went to the country and spent time with relatives and all that, going around to tea meetings, cross the tea meetings, and the songs. All the love songs, darling, don't tell no lie. Oh, but the love one I love is sing me love have lion. Will never go, shining like the sunshine on infinite.
When young Louise first took her dialect poems to the Daily Gleaner, nobody was interested in this shy teenager. But later, when her verses were finally published, they were an immediate hit, and circulation of the Sunday papers soared. Some felt Miss Lou deserved much of the credit.
And what struck me about this poem was that author was able to make the character so vividly. I could see Uriah and when Uriah preach, and I could see his family, his people gathered around in the church, and everybody. That Uriah preach is my famous poem of hers, and in all the poems, the characters are well drawn.
In the 40s, the literacy campaign began in Jamaica. Louise had just finished a course in sociology at the Friends College in Highgate, and she was asked to work now in the literacy campaign, Each One, Teach One. She immediately accepted this challenge. She spoke the language of the people. Now she would help the people learn to read and write.
Dear, what a took. I got a lot of, I've been all around the countryside now. I'm doing each one, but at the same time, collecting folk songs and stories and getting all these rich proverbs and all that. Oh, child. When I hear about festival now, I know that the village festivals have been going on for years in Jamaica, a village festival, because in those days there wasn't much of entertainment, there wasn't radio, there wasn't TV and all that. So people would make their own entertainment, and these festivals were a thing that every holiday, every little time they could get their own big festival. And people would be calling me to say, writing me to say, they're having a festival, and they're asking me if I could come and judge the recitations, because they're going to recite some of my poems. And then they say, if they're having a competition and we'd like to do that. Then they would say, we have dramatized two of the books. They would take them and not only just recite the poem, but they would dramatize them. And that was the real reason why I started to think I was there judging these drama festivals. But I hadn't, although I had a natural flair for the theatre, I did not really study drama formally. And that was when I decided to do a formal training in drama.
In 1945, Louise was given a scholarship by the British Council to the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art in London, one of the world's most famous theatre schools. Still in her early 20s, Louise set out on her first trip abroad, determined to do her best for her country.
I was herded into a room. I went in and I saw lots of people going into the room, pure white smile, And I said, they're going into this room. And I said, well, so I just followed them. And I go into this room and they all sat down. And I thought, at me one by myself, talk and talk, and then look for me strangely and all that. We don't even notice them. We just look on the paper for a lady had given me a paper the day and said to study a speech. And I studied the shortest speech on it. So I just look and listen to the speech, And a senior woman comes to the door, she says, numbers, so and so, she rattled out some number, follow me. So I said, what's that? Me no number. How this now? So I start getting things like, give me today. Then people bring me up a phone me up again, I don't have the number. So I said, no. And she come in, number one, she rattled up, and I said, some more people gone. I get you decks and decks, and then the woman came in, she said, number 33, number 33, number. And I don't see nobody move. Yeah, me, I wonder if it means 33. And I get up and follow the woman. So the next time I was on the stage, fright, lights on me now. And I hear a voice coming from out of the darkness saying, number 33, please do something for diction. I said, yes. And I remember the thing, but the little shorting, it was the shortest speech from Caesar Cleopatra. And I started the speech and it says, you are and I was being very, very proper with my diction, I looked straight out and said, you are a funny old gentleman. And I heard everybody say, ho. And then, afterwards I heard that I was looking straight at Sir Kenneth Barnes when I said that. And I finished the speech with him. And I heard the voice say, could you do another? Something for dramatic, your dramatic ability, would like to dramatic expression. I said, well, I didn't study anything for that, but I wonder if I could do something in Jamaican dialect. He said, oh, Jamaica, and he says, oh, well, yes, it's for dramatic. So, my dear, I did one of my verses, now you know the one about poo, and then I heard him say, oh, and then I heard the man say again, another, So I said, well, I will do a one-man court scene. I will be the judge and the jury. I started with this judging. This was something that Lee Gordon used to do. I used to like it, and I did this thing. All Matilda Slackness, Matilda Slackness, Matilda Slackness, coming, I was doing everybody that. My dear, when I was finished with that, I said, thank you, number 33. And this is like, when I get back in the room now, I went back straight through. Get back to the woman and I see plenty of them that were in there with people. And we heard them laughing. Everybody started talking to me now, Anyhow, my child, the woman came back afterwards and she said, numbers, no, she rattled off some numbers. You may go home. And I hear some of them say, oh, better that next time then. And it soon seemed that them didn't pass nothing. And I heard them say, number so, go home. Numbers 33, 37, something number, but I know she called 33. Follow me. So when we followed, we got in the car, the lady said, you're passing on a scholarship. You're a scholarship? I said, lady, I didn't come here for a scholarship. I came up for an audition. She said, I said, yes, I come from Jamaica. So turned out, my dear, that this scholarship was for British nationals. And I was no British national. I was born in Jamaica. I did not know right in that room. And turned out number 33 had mumps.
Well, Louise was a sensation at RADA. And Louise, as you know, is always a sensation. For example, for her graduation exercise at RADA, she did the part of the nurse in Romeo and Juliet in Jamaican dialect and created quite a sensation, of course. And then one of the greatest ambitions of any RADA student was to get a part in a London West End play or get you must speak on a BBC radio program. And before 4 months, she went and took part in one of these Caribbean Christmas greeting programs. And of course, Louise, always being different, she wrote a dialect poem which she recited, and the BBC, the overseas service, asked Louise if she would do her own show.
They called it Caribbean Carnival. They gave me the Rudolph Steiner horn, the BBC Variety Orchestra, Ray Jenkins. You know what that is? Not gonna work. I tell you, I want that for the signature tune. No. Tea-dum-tum-tum. And that page repeated that. When they heard rather, that I had my own BBC program and I didn't, I'd only spent about 3 months at Radha. So I had, while I'm going to Radha, I got the thing that everybody was working for at this school, And another little thing that happened, I can never forget one day, a girl who had passed out. She got a little part on a BBC show. And I think I've heard Sir Kenneth would like to talk to Miss Bennett. And one big thing when Sir Kenneth wants to talk to you, my dear, so just and they put me in an elevator and I go to Sir Kenneth and he says to me, one of our students would like you to help her with the West Indian accent, which from your part of the country, of the world, So I said yes. He said, so this girl came and she said, well, she's got a part in a play and she has to play a Mexican girl. I said, Mexican girl? I said, but I'm from Jamaica. So said Sir Kenneth, oh, but it's around there.
But Louise got very homesick. She got homesick, I guess, for the rice and peas and the bamia and all the other things. And so she gave up this very successful radio show in London and returned home to Jamaica. And at that time, something new was happening. Some years before that, a group of expatriates living in Jamaica had formed themselves into a group and were putting on pantomimes with familiar English folk stories, Aladdin, Dick Whittington, Bluebeard, and so on. And of course, this was all being done in the traditional English style of pantomime, with a lady playing the leading boy and a man playing the dame, etc. And there's one local pantomime, Saturday and the Wicked Bird. This had been produced, but they were all back to the same English type of pantomime, and nothing concrete was happening.
Of course, most of the people in those pantomimes, those times, were very white. You know what I mean? The pantomime was a very white pantomime. Granny and I said were the entertainers. I can always remember offensive. Your Majesty, the entertainers have arrived. Just a sort of a cockney fellow.
It was quite fun. Herself and myself doing topicalities, which I used to write, and she helped too.
And then in 1948, a production of Beauty and the Beast was presented with a Jamaican slant. And the next year, I think it was, Louise wrote Bluebeard. And for the theatre in Jamaica, that was a theatrical landmark.
If you see me wink my eye, to a wench that's passing by, though a wench is passing by, it's not she. It's who? It's you. Pretty true. Mm-hmm. When I send me love, my dear, to a dashing private dear, to a calling love, my dear, it's not him, it's who? Try you. It's true. Mm-hmm. True only to you. Oh, true only to you. No matter what I might do, wanna do it, I do it only to you. If you see me walk and kiss, and enchanting little miss, God enchanting little miss is not she. It's me. It's me.
But I'll never forget the first time I got involved in pantomime through Louise. One day I was here and she stopped by, the usual rush. This Navarro, we need a scene for a pantomime. We're doing, Queenie's Daughter, and she outlined the story to me. Write it, no? I'm sure you can write it. I said, no, Louise, I don't know anything about writing. No, then she outlined, she got me so enthusiastic and involved about it. I said, all right, I'll try. So she went away and she came back in the evening. Before she left, I said, why not make this dressmaker, Mrs. Malaprop, And she said, good darling, go on. He's coming back because I need the scene.
What's her? Ambrosia, why you take so long to come out to me? I beg your pardon, Mother. You have a right to make a pardon. know, madam. I'm a decent, respectable man. Queenie. Queenie Rarity. You don't remember me?
Queen Rarity. So now the name told a distant bell.
And when she came back on Village, she was very impressed about it, and said, oh, this is going to be good. And I did the little pat song,
Yeah.
we shared it between, the song to share between us singing. Well, she...
Yeah, man. Good night, man. Good night. This is the Happy Independence Jamaica show. 62nd anniversary of Jamaica Independence. I am Roger Hasfal on the Memories Hometown Sound, Memories Hometown Radio. Yeah, man, and we're giving thanks and praises, for another year around the sun. Yeah, man. So it's a very significant year. Of course, it's an Olympic year as well. And you don't know, say, we're there to keep a company on the Memories Hometown Radio, www.mhtmusic.live, as we are having a happy 62nd Jamaica Independence Day show with yours truly, Roger Konkrete Hasfal. So you're hearing, a little documentary on one of our pioneers in Jamaica's road to independence and beyond, the Honorable Louise Bennett Coverley, Miss Lou. Yeah, man. So we are having a little documentary on her. You're going to hear some independent songs. In fact, let us, before we continue with Miss Lou, the documentary, let us hear from one of the Foundation Independence singers, one of the Foundation Independence songs. Yeah, man. One of the Foundation Independence songs. We're talking about Lord Creator. Yeah, man. And singing about Jamaica Independence. This is the Memories Hometown Radio, www.mhtmusic.live. It's the happy 62nd Jamaica Independence Day show here on Memories Hometown Radio.
Jamaica getting their independence and everyone is happy. So I will now tell the story and please listen carefully. And we called up a referendum for you to make your own decision. So the people voted wisely, now everyone is happy that there's no more federation. Now independence is good for the young and the old, also for me and you. Yes, independence is great for the whole population, including your children too. So I believe that if we try our best, it will be a great success. So let us live in unity for progress and prosperity. Let's go! Manly went up to England to seek for independence, and although Buster was late, he still attended the conference. Although from two different parties, it was very good to see how these two politicians were shaking hands when they gained victory. Now independence is good for the young and the old, also for me and you. Yes, independence is great for the whole population, including your children too. So I believe that if we try our best, it will be a great success. So let us live in unity for progress and prosperity. Swing it, daddy. These two men came from England. They came the very same day on two different planes that stopped at Montego Bay. They separated back down to Kingston, but still we are very clean. But they got independence, so let's rejoice to be the first in the West Indies. Now independence is good for the young and the old, also for me and you. Yes, independence is great for the whole population, including your children too. So I believe that if we try our best, it will be a great success. So let us live in unity for progress and prosperity. Sing it, Daddy.
Yeah, man, that is Lord Creator. Yeah, man, one of the foundation independence songs from 1962. Yeah, man, and I can just imagine the people at that time with so much hope, so much hope the young people of Jamaica at the time had. There must have been some feeling of euphoria among the population at the time. I can just imagine how the people used to feel at that time when, that first Independence Day, when the flag was lowered, the Union Jack and the Jamaican flag went up for the first time, and there was so much glee and joy amongst the population. I can just imagine. I wasn't around at that time, but I can just imagine how the people at that time felt in Jamaica. Of course, we are 62 years after, and a lot of things have gone, both good and bad. Jamaica is a very resilient country. The people are out of this world. When you look at what we have done in sports and culture, athletics, reggae, yeah, man, we have some outstanding academics as well. People would have gone on to become great members of the world society at large. As Jamaica continue to grapple with, that economic independence that I'm positive that the people back in the day would have hoped that by now would have had that freedom of economic independence, which we're still craving for in Jamaica. I mean, we have gone haywire in terms of how human relations have been in Jamaica. We never know so would have reached that stage there. The high crime rate. But there is so much to be thankful for Jamaica. So much thing that is still happening in Jamaica that we are happy to be Jamaicans wherever you are, anywhere in the world. It's just a nostalgic time of the year, every year this time. So yeah, man. So we just heard from Lord Creator. Yeah, man. And another foundation independent song we are going to right now. It is from we talking about the man Derek Morgan. Forward March.
Forward march! Gather together, big brothers and sisters, we're independent. Join hands to hands, children starting to dance, we're independent. Don't be silent, blue. The Lord is still with you. Because the time has come when you can have your fun, so make a run. Brothers and sisters, give joy and peace to Alexander. Brothers and sisters, give joy and peace to Mandy.
Memories and memories.
Don't be silent, the Lord is still with you. For the time has come when you can have your fun, so make a run. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sing something, something, let's sing something. We're independent. Yeah, 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 yeah. Brothers and sisters, give joy and praise to Alexander. Brothers and sisters, give joy and praise to Commander. Don't be silent. The Lord is still with you. For the time has come
Yeah, man, the man Derek Morgan, Forward March, one of the original Independence Day songs back in Jamaica, back in the day, 1962. Lord Creator and Derek Morgan, the two foundation Independence Day singers, in Jamaica. Yeah, man. So here we are, 62 years after, celebrating, and we are, praying for the divine guidance for this country for another 62 years and beyond. Seeing? All right. So we'll continue, with some more features on this Independence Day show here on the Memories Hometown Radio, the www.mhtmusic.live. And, we are, gonna go down memory lane a little. And of course, how many of you remember JOS? Remember them days? Jolly Bus, JOS bus. We have a little documentary on JOS, as we continue our Independence Day show here on the www.mhtmusic.live. So, I mean, for the younger generation, and we are now at that age where we're at the JUTC, but there was a time, when we had a decent bus service in Jamaica, and usually run on time, and there was no issue, and then there was a breakdown, and it became privatized, and it was taken back over by the government back in the late 90s. But the JOS is something where I grew up on, where I used to take a lot as a little youth. The JOS bus, the Jolly Bus. So we have a little documentary here on this Independence Day show about JOS as we go back in history. And for the younger generation, this is all our population, especially in the the metropolitan areas, used to travel during independence, a little bit before independence, and after, a proper bus service. And we're just gonna have a documentary now on the Jamaica Omnibus Service, JOS, Jamaica's national bus service back in the day. Here we go.
Every day, thousands of people in Kingston travel, some by car, some by cycle, some walk, but most travel by bus. Over the last 20 years, Kingston has grown into a city of 600,000 people, and the city's bus service has grown with it. Huge housing estates have sprung up all over the city. This growth couldn't have taken place without an expanding public transport system. New industries have come into being. More and more children attend school. To cater for this growth, Jamaica Omnibus Services Limited, known as JOS, came into being in 1953. At the beginning, JOS had 68 buses and 350 workers. By the 70s, with 2,400 workers, the company's 425 buses operated over 12 million miles per year and carried 150 million passengers. Running a large bus company requires organization. The board of directors is partly British and partly Jamaican. This board, which meets regularly, is responsible to the shareholders, of whom more than 1,000 are Jamaicans. The managing director, who works full-time, has under him three main departments: engineering, which maintains the fleet; traffic, which operates it; and accounts, which, as its name implies, accounts for the revenue taker. The engineering department, under the chief engineer, deals with the day-to-day and long-term maintenance of the fleet. The first JOS buses operated out of a depot in Western Kingston known as Tivoli Depot. Tivoli Depot has now been expanded to a 10-acre site. on which are located offices, overhaul workshops, running shift workshops, a preventative maintenance section, stores, and the engineering and driver training schools. By 1968, the fleet had outgrown this single depot, and a second one was opened at Lyndhurst Road early in 1969. There are similar facilities for day-to-day body and mechanical repairs and cleaning, but major work is still done at Tivoli. Road conditions in Kingston and the steep gradient of the St. Andrew foothills take a heavy toll, and providing the buses to keep Kingston on the move requires the skills of many people. Fuelers, cleaners, checkers, welders, mechanics, electricians, sheet metal workers, tiremen, painters, testers, and so on. At both depots, there's a system of regular inspection, cleaning, and servicing. The buses are fueled, oiled, vacuumed internally, and washed by a mechanical washer. They're then made ready for the next scheduled run. Any defects are reported, such as the need for a tire change, and dealt with before the bus next goes on service. At peak periods, the depots are almost empty, and minor repairs are dealt with between the morning and evening peaks. A big problem is accident damage. In a case like this, there's serious damage to the superstructure. Careful inspection will reveal the best way to tackle it. Accidents apart, buses come in for docking at regular intervals. Components are removed, steam cleaned, and then taken for reconditioning. After all the mechanical parts have been renewed, brakes were lined, electrical systems checked, the interior repaired, and seats replaced, the bus has a fresh coat of paint, is road tested, and once more takes its place on the city streets. The traffic department calls on the engineering department to provide the required maximum number of buses for service each day. The traffic manager, assisted by 2 area superintendents, plans timetables and crew schedules and supervises the company's operations around the city. From as early as 4 in the morning, drivers and conductors report for duty. Special staff buses bring in early crews and take home the late shift after midnight. When starting out, duty drivers collect their buses from the depots, and at the main city terminals, they're joined by their conductors. Bus timetables require careful planning. This is done in the schedule section, which also prepares duty schedules and rotas for drivers and conductors. It's a complicated exercise to make crews available at the times required. The best of planning can be confounded by absenteeism, lateness, sickness, and so on. It's therefore necessary for the detailing section to issue special daily orders to cover such eventualities, and standby crews are programmed to provide for unforeseen staff failures and holiday periods. A team of inspectors maintains a constant check on route operations. Some work at important traffic points, others travel on the buses, and a number cover the city in patrol cars fitted with two-way radios. The four operational centres, Tivoli, Lyndhurst, and the Slipe Road and King Street offices, are linked in this radio system, ensuring smooth operation through advanced communication. The company runs training schools for both drivers and conductors. And here we see trainee conductresses in the school. No new recruit is passed out until she's fully proficient. Bus crews have daily contact with the general public, and great emphasis is placed on the need for good public relations and common courtesy. A new driver has similar classroom training, though much of his or her training period, yes, we do have lady drivers, is carried out on the road. After training, the potential bus driver is examined by a government inspector to obtain his PPV driver's license. However, this isn't handed over until the new drivers have satisfied the school's instructors that they're fully capable of handling this demanding job. JRS drivers pride themselves on their safety record. This driver is receiving his award for 14 years accident-free driving. With 150 million passengers a year, some complaints are inevitable. Each complaint is investigated and a reply sent to the complaint. If a company employee is proven to be at fault, the traffic staff superintendent takes the necessary action. Bus services can't be provided free, and this is why the conductor says the familiar fares please. The cash which has been collected must be accounted for. The accounts department, under the company secretary, compiles statistics of revenue and mileage for management purposes and the necessary books of account. It also deals with the company's large computerized payroll. In the ticket offices, the numbered tickets are checked and issued in pans to the conductors. Each conductor is responsible for the total value of tickets sold when, at the end of the duty, he pays in his takings and returns his unsold tickets to the ticket office. With over 2,400 employees, staff welfare and personal problems must occur. These are dealt with by the personnel manager. His department keeps records on each employee. Apart from attending to the many day-to-day problems, the personnel manager hears appeals from members of the staff dissatisfied with disciplinary action. He also assists the managing director in the frequent negotiations with the two unions which represent workers, the BITU and the NWU. In addition to normal collective bargaining, there are also regular consultative committee meetings between management and workers to discuss common problems. In this modern world, public relations play an increasing part, and the advertising manager is responsible for this function. Also, most buses throughout the world today have become mobile billboards, and at JOS, the advertising manager sells these spaces to advertisers. He also supervises the company's printing department, which produces several million copies of over 340 different forms. We see now the day-to-day running of the company is dealt with, but what of the future? Management holds regular meetings to consider future policy. New routes are planned, and new buses are ordered. And before a new one like this goes on the roads, its specifications have to be planned, and orders are only placed after close liaison with the company's technical advisors in the manufacturing country. Running a bus service in a congested city is no easy matter, and the company maintains close cooperation with the Board of Control set up by the government, which is responsible for ensuring that JOS is able to do its job properly. It is this body which decides the level of fares which are charged. However, in the end, it's the workers of the JOS who finally determine the standard of service. Most important of all are the drivers, conductors, and inspectors on the road in daily contact with the public. Of vital importance to any public transport undertaking is timekeeping. Every employee of JOS knows that punctuality is essential. We've seen many departments with many people at work. The responsibility for providing the people of Kingston with a good transport service rests on every employee's shoulders. The bus system is the lifeblood of the city. All sections of the community rely on it to varying degrees. Factory workers, office workers, school children, shoppers, people seeking leisure. All these people need to reach their destination, and they rely on JOS to do its job of keeping Kingston on the move.
Yes, this is the Independence Day show, Jamaica 62nd Independence Day show here on the Memories Hometown Radio, the Memories Hometown, www.mhtmusic.live. I am Roger Konkrete Hasfal. You might just heard a feature on the Jamaica Omnibus service, that bus service that used to operate in Jamaica, specifically in the Kingston metropolitan area for years, started back in 1953. And it was disbanded sometime around 30 odd years after. And, you know, it was privatized. Then government took it over back in 1996 under a new name, JUTC. And there you had a little synopsis, a little summary, history on the JOS as we continue our Independence Day show here on the www.mhtmusic.live. We're going back to some music back in the 1960s, you know. And, you know, during those independence time, and of course, these songs will bring back a lot of memories for the old timers who are in tune to the www.mhtmusic.live as we speak. Here we go. This one is from Lord Creator, Kingston Town.
Oh, Kingston Town, the long to be. If I had the whole world, I would give it away just to see the girls I name. When I am king, surely I would be a queen and the palace and everything. Now I am king, then my queen will come and go, and we will reign in Kingston town. Oh, Kingston town, the place I long to be. If I had the whole world, I would give it away just to see the girls I name. When I am king, surely I would be a queen and the goddess and everything. Tonight I am king, then my queen will come and go, and we will reign in Kingston town. Right on, we will reign in Kingston town. Right on.
Yeah, man, Lord Creator, man. Kingston Town, telling you about the Kingston Town. More Lord Creator, you know, remember who? Certain the kids back in the days would remember them song, yeah. Yeah, man. Remember who?
Clothes you wear and the food you eat, man, how life was going sweet. You went to school and you learn a lot since you was a tiny tot. Please do not forget, I say how all these things you come to get. Since you was in your cradle, your mother and your father was responsible. Remember when you couldn't even walk. Remember when you couldn't even talk. I say remember who used to wash your clothes for you, who used to wipe your nose for you, who used to hug and kiss you. I say remember who used to change your diaper, who used to find your supper. Don't forget what your mother and father. Alright, yes sir. Remember when things was going fine, not a worry on your mind. And when things wasn't so good with you, who was the first one to open to? So how could you forget? And up to now you can't pay back yet. Try from now till forever, you could never pay back your mother and father. Remember when you couldn't even walk. Remember when you couldn't even talk. I say remember who used to wash your clothes for you, who used to wipe your nose for you, who used to hug and kiss you. I say remember who used to change your diaper, who used to find your supper. Don't forget what your mother and father. It have some fathers and good as all. They never mind you when you were small. But never mind how your father bad. You shouldn't take it on too hard. Try to understand what would be your position. If it wasn't for your daddy, you would never have a damn money. Remember when you couldn't leave war? Remember when you couldn't even talk? I said, remember who used to wash your clothes for you? Who used to wipe your nose for you? Who used to hug and kiss you? I say, remember who used to change your diaper? Who used to find your supper? Don't forget what the mother and father. Oh,
Yeah, man, the man, Lord Creator. This is the 62nd Independence Day show on the www.mhtmusic.live. Yeah, man. So we'll go back into some features, So we'll go back and, we're going to have a little document, on how Jamaica really attained independence. And we're going to start off with the first part of this documentary regarding Jamaica's march to independence.
The eyes of the world were on the Honorable Norman Manley, Premier of Jamaica, as he prepared to leave his homeland for the most momentous of all conferences. The failure in practice of the Federation of the West Indies and its dissolution were common knowledge. Now Jamaica went to the conference table, confident in her own future as an independent country and determined to bring the date of fulfillment as near as possible. Large numbers of well-wishers turned out to see him leave from Palazados Airport. With him and the other delegates went the hopes of Jamaica and the country's confidence that regardless of party, all would be together in the common cause of independence. The will of the people had been made clear by the referendum. Now their representatives left to implement the decision. And so the Premier's aircraft winged away. The destination, London. Mr. Manley and his wife are no strangers to the capital city of the Commonwealth. They have been there at all seasons of the year, but it was a wintry London which greeted them at the airport. The weather wasn't nearly as cold or bad as it might have been, although earlier planes had been diverted on account of fog. Everybody wanted pictures. Pictures of the man who, by his very position as premier, personifies his country's hopes of independence. When the photographers were satisfied and the world's newspapers had recorded the occasion, Mr. Manley left the airport for the 12-mile journey to the capital itself. Ahead lay the most important few days of his life, the days that would shape the future of his country and bring to reality the hopes of the people he served. Meanwhile, at Palacedos Airport, more delegates were leaving Jamaica for the conference. There to see them off was Sir Alexander Bustamante, the leader of the opposition. Sir Alexander was unfortunately unable to attend the opening session, but he was to be there in time for the important discussions which followed. During his absence, the opposition delegates were headed by their deputy leader, Mr. Sangster. Political differences were to play no conference. Although Mr. Manley and Sir Alexander hold divergent views on many subjects, independence was not one of them. In this, the main ideal, all parties were united. The Minister of Education, Mr. Glasspool, was one of the passengers in the aircraft. He took leave of his family, his friends, and of Sir Alexander. Mr. Glasspool was to play an important part in the discussions and, like all the other delegates, carried a heavy responsibility to plan well for the future. The journey swiftly and safely accomplished, the photographers were out again in full force. As the opening session came nearer, interest all over the world was building up to a climax. 300 years of British colonial rule were approaching their end. Many struggles there had been, many obstacles to overcome. But all were past, and Jamaica, the happy island of the Caribbean, was moving surely forward in unity to the inevitable and transcendent achievement of independence. February the 1st, 1962, a date which school children will be taught to remember for generations to come. It was the day that saw the beginning of a new chapter in Jamaica's 450 years of recorded history. At Lancaster House, where many such conferences have been held in recent years, the delegates began to arrive. The chair was to be taken by Mr. Reginald Maudling, Her Majesty's Secretary of State for the Colonies. 4 representatives of the government, 4 from the opposition, 5 officials and 2 secretaries made up the island contingent. Lancaster House was built in 1825 and was originally called York House after Frederick, Duke of York, second son of George III, for whom it was built. It was presented to the nation by the late Lord Leverhulme for use on such occasions as this, and renamed Lancaster House. Much of the decoration was by Sir Charles Barry. Since the war, few of any countries have enjoyed such astonishing advances in the field of economic development. This, coupled with maturity in political life and thought, had made it possible for Jamaica to face independence with confidence. It remained to settle the details, for disagreement now could lead to a further period of waiting. While the delegates assembled, Mr. Maudling, Mr. Manley, and Mr. Sangster posed for press photographers in an anteroom. The first meeting was open to the press and later received full coverage in newspapers throughout the world. The future of Jamaica was the question which the conference would decide. Mr. Maudling made the opening speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me very great pleasure to welcome here this morning to Lancaster House the joint parliamentary delegation from Jamaica, who have come here today to determine a date for the independence of their island and to agree upon a suitable constitution. The first task that will face us in this conference is that of drawing up your new constitution. This is a task which I am told usually presents very great difficulties on these occasions, since there are so many conflicting interests to be reconciled. It is a great tribute to the maturity of political life in Jamaica that jointly, gentlemen, you appear to have produced for us a draft independence constitution on which there is already a substantial measure of agreement between the two main parties in your legislature who are represented at this table today. I know that this cannot have been easy, and it is surely a very good omen for your future that you have been able in the weeks preceding this conference to iron out so many difficulties for yourselves and to reach such a large measure of agreement. Many people, of course, had hoped that you were going to exercise the political maturity which Jamaica has shown in its parliamentary life upon a wider stage in the Federation of the West Indies in conjunction with your neighbors in the Eastern Caribbean. As you all know so well, however, the Jamaican government last September referred this issue to the electorate in a referendum, and the electorate of Jamaica rejected this possibility. This is a decision which many people in many quarters have regretted. It is, however, as you know, one which the British government feel bound to accept, and we will do what is necessary to implement it when we have obtained the requisite powers from Parliament. If in the course of this conference the joint parliamentary delegation expressed the wish that Jamaica should become a member of the Commonwealth, I can assure you now that the British government will be most happy to sponsor Jamaica's application. The main task, gentlemen, therefore, which faces us in the next few days, are to devise the final form of your constitution, to discuss possible arrangements for running the common services which you share with other governments elsewhere in the Caribbean, and finally, to agree the date for your independence. I am hopeful that all these matters are ones on which we can reach swift and amicable agreement, so that before this year is out, the energetic people of Jamaica can emerge as an independent nation on the world stage.
Mr. Manley then spoke.
Mr. Secretary, this independence conference marks the beginning of the end of a very long road which started over 300 years ago when one of the happy accidents of naval warfare resulted in the capture of Jamaica from the Spanish crown in 1655. The road ends, Mr. Secretary, at a time when all empires declined, when colonialism has become a word of ugly meaning, when the sun sets round the world, chiefly in the flags of free peoples, with whom we hope soon to walk in peace and friendship, when late, but more than ready, we join the great company of the new nations of the world. There is no country in the world not now independent which is more fit to achieve that status than Jamaica now is. Indeed, we have been ready for independence long ago, and no doubt would have achieved it already, but for the fact that as far back as 1949 we committed ourselves to an experimental trial marriage with the other territories of the West Indies, if I may so describe the Union in Federation now coming to an end. That union, Mr. Secretary, has been terminated by peaceful and democratic means. The process has been, I dare to say, an example to the world of democracy in action. Your government is to be congratulated on the good sense of the decision, which put no obstacle in the way of our holding a referendum to decide whether that federation should endure. Any country that can weld into a harmonious unity the sort of heritage we possess, where people drawn from England and Europe and Africa and all the nations of the East are mingled and mixed in every combination that one can conceive, makes a contribution, by example, to another great problem of the world. That problem, the problem of interracial harmony and respect, Mr. Secretary, I remind you, is now for the first time in your history a living problem for your country. And on your solution of it, much depends for yourself, for my people, and for the Commonwealth and the world. It is because I believe that Jamaica can make a contribution in all these fields that I find it a great moment of pride to come here today surrounded by men from both the great political parties of my country, jointly with them and with you, to determine the questions which this conference shall answer, in order that we may pass through the gate at the end of the road to our own independence as a nation.
Yeah, man, this is the Independence Day show on the Memories Hometown Radio, www.mhtmusic.live. And at this time, we're going to head straight over to the National Stadium for some Independence Day Gala. Keep it locked right here on the www.mhtmusic.live.
Has a human understanding, there will always be a song for you I'll sing. Hallelujah, you are King, you are great, God mighty, all honor to you, O King.
Reggae, our heartbeat. It's rhythm, our blood. It tells our story. Stalwarts of sound. They are our national treasures. The music is our social compass. A unifying voice.
Oh, what a blessing we have received to have been so privileged to share such wonderful moments with such a man. Oh, what a man. He's a legend. I know, yes I know he's a legend. Yes I know, yeah. He's a legend. Oh man, he's a legend. He's a legend.
Out of many, one. A melting pot of cultures, united by a common spirit. Indian, European, Africa, Chinese. This year, the Chinese celebrate 170 years since their arrival. We conquer snow on ice. And dominate on green grass.
Jamaica, make come make some nice and cheer on Team Jamaica. So we greet every time when we celebrate. Tell them stop the race at Jamaica, we say all the way, all the way.
When we touch the stadium, you know that we jamming late. From them start the race at Jamaica, we say all the way.
Good stuff from Pal, really good stuff from Mike too, and the orange shorts. Pal coming back in now. Mike's beginning to get away. Fear having a good run too, and the orange black. But Pal's going to get it by half a metre from Mike. 9.97. It is indeed sub 10, number 96 for a top of Pal. Getting out where she has got. She could eat for a fifth world title, and she's going to do it. Shelly Ann looks across, but in late Roger Harris. 5 world titles. The ultimate final explodes into life. Richardson on the outside. Gibson's going really well in the middle. It's her title, this is her event. Thomas tried to go with her, but it's Sharika Jackson at the moment. Can she hold it? She's storming to victory here. Watch the clock. This is so fast. It's a brilliant, brilliant title defense. It's the second fastest time ever run. First time, good start from my bolt. Bolt leading a moment going away. Kate trying to go with him, and he's going big jerk through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. 9.58. The world record.
If you run down your shadow now, you can never catch it. But if you run down your shadow now, you can never catch it.
In country alone. In country.
Girls, every from London, Canada, and the US.
Jamaica, a nation of champions. 62 years of independence, a journey of growth and glory. Jamaica, our island home.
When I look at where I'm coming from, I know I'm blessed, and I close my eyes and smile. Sometimes I feel like the richest man in Babylon, and I've done my best, so everything's alright inside. Oh, every morning I rise, I stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing, so when the evening comes, I lift up my eyes to live, I'm blessed, oh man. With my two hands in the air as far as I can. Yeah. As far as I can. This is the land of my birth. I said this is the land of my birth. I said this is Jamaica, my Jamaica, the land of my birth. I will never leave a shore. I will never run away. I will always believe in the God, the creating God I say. Our nation is never the giants. We must face the test of time. As our people say I'm sorry, we are going to get along. Some people say we are poor, but the progress you make, my friend, is not always a reach you are. I said this is the land of my birth. I said this is the land of my birth. I said this is Jamaica, my Jamaica, the land of my birth.
The Drone Show was conceptualizer Michael Holgate, supervising editor Ledford Salmon, script by Michael Holgate and Javon Gordon, music arranged by Conroy D. Wilson and Otmar Campbell, Drone Show technology Luna Light.
legends of classic dance hall. Our first performer, please welcome Lord Lavender.
Hold on, have mercy, mercy, mercy. Love everybody, party, party, party. Everybody give it, follow me, follow me, follow me. Let off with your pride and no taste. Think of follow me, no listen. Me is a man who not deal with vanity. Me no mix up with hypocrisy. So anyway, in a town or country, everybody have to respect me.
Yeah, man. So we are joining the National Stadium live, you know, for Grand Gala 2024. It's Jamaica's 62nd Independence Day anniversary. And of course, we are having our Independence Day show here on the Memories Hometown Radio, www.mhtmusic.live. We continue. So log on to the National Stadium for Grand Gala 2024.
Our second performer has taken dancehall music to the four corners of the world. The best dressed, the latest dressed, Papa Sam.
Watch me no be right. When the man just set, Jamaican people man them love the reggae. Go as an entertainer and you're in the music. You know you have to talk all kind of lyrics. You have to do little of that, and do little of this. You have to talk everything to please it for the lips. Some of them love the culture, some of them love the game. This is the funny rhythm and the physical.
Thank you so much to all who are involved in making tonight a resounding success. Executive Director, the Honorable Oliver Banzi Grange. Supervising Producer, Ledford Salmon. Director of Production and Events, Gregory Sims. Artistic Director, Michael Holgate. Assistant Creative Director and Chief Choreographer, Barbara McDaniel. Musical Director, Conroy B. Wilson. Assistant Musical Director, Otmar Campbell. Choreographers, Vernon Thomas, Roberta Daly, Lantoinette Steins, Kenneth Casey, Assistant Choreographers, Tara Price, Shay Osborne, and Catherine Reed. Sound Design, Kelvin Osborne. Special thanks to Phase 3, Main Event, and Clear Sound. Assistant choreographers, Charmaine Blake, Yakeem Reed, Shanika Gibbs, Ananye Steins, Giovanna Rowe, Akeem Blake, script writer Dahlia Harris, narrators Faye Ellington, Melbourne D. Burns Douglas, Andrew Lawrence, Faith Diagler, multimedia screens and graphics, Maya Wilkinson, props, Calvin Mitchell, Yvette Gale, Lennox Richards, Jonathan McLaughlin, Kurt Muniz, Vincent Douglas, Wendell Ferguson. Stage managers, Larson Watson Head, Kevin Sewell Assistant, Kyle Gooden, Gavin Wright, Ricky Green, Quindell Ferguson, Alafia Noel, Priscilla Smith, Raheem Hall, Nicholas Morrison, Danielle Harrison, Dwight McKee, Kadisha, Con Crowley, Kennardo Phillips, Mark Davidson, Team Production Coordinator, Javon
Yeah, man, this is the Independence Day show.
Together, let's gonna talk. Really, we can't harmonize. Soon you will find out the man at the I don't talk to no man. But it's you should trouble this man. It will bring a ham, bam, 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 bam. What a bam, 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 bam. Can you hear that? Oh, can you hear that? Oh, can you hear that? Yeah. I am the man who I saw the right, not on the wrong. Come together, let's sit and talk. Deeply wait on harmonize. Soon you will find out the man I'm supposed to be. Don't tell me no man. So you trouble me again. You're going to bring a bam, 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 bam.
All right, yeah, man. The sound of the great Toots and the Maytals, man. The first festival song winner in Jamaica back in 1966. And of course, this is the Independence Day show here on the www.mhdmusic.live scene. So we have a few more moments to go. So we're gonna continue rolling on with some nice old-time Jamaican festival songs as we celebrate Independence 62. Cheerio, baby! Yeah, man, from the man Eric Donaldson.
Sweet Jamaica is no on the move. Help me with my song and let the people that come sing along. Take up your book, let's go shovel and your book. Take up your books, the people let us go. Call up the youth and rally, let us show. Sweet Jamaica has found to well. If them a if them a pilot, well, let them sing. If them a true friends, well, let them come. Rain and fall, but they don't fit us. Pull up your sleeve, man, you tell me about no heart. Come on, just leave that in. Let the man come dig ground with me. You make me sure tomorrow. And everything will be sweet, sweet, sweet. Corn and yam, banana too. And our lives start to walk with you. If them a chill, who will let them come? If them a ballad, run let them come. If them a screw fresh, run let them come. Run let them come. Run me, smell it, don't act silly. But for your son, the one man with me. We want the world a little faster. We gonna dance all about little later. Stripes and all and I would school. Look at the granny, I've got one for you. Grandpa Jones is still running. Here with them high, we'll go have some fun. It's a hard time, can't last long. That's the merry the world is moving. You can feel like the one that let them come. If them a ballad, run them let them come. If them a screw fresh, run them let them come. Run them let them come. If them a chill like the one that let them come. If them a ballad, run them let them come. If them a screw fresh, run them let them come. Run them let them come.
Boy, Roger Hasfal. Be a thing, my boy. Represent to the world and beyond.
Yeah, man, the timeless song. The timeless song. Land of my birth. Eric Donaldson. Very timeless on the Independence Day show here on the Memories Hometown. www.mhtmusic.live. Yeah, man, it's our 62nd Jamaica Independence Day show. and we're having a jolly good time with some old time festival songs. We rewind from the top, because this is one of the most timeless Jamaican songs of all time, Land of My Birth, on the Independence Day show here in the www.mhtmusic.live.
I'm a part of Jamaica, I'm a son of the sun. I love the sea, I love the sun, Lord, I love the sun. No matter where I go, Jamaica is my home. I love the great coconut water and white rum. I hear some people say they are going away. But if I even leave, I won't be going away to stay. I'm a born Jamaica, I'm a son of the soil. I love the sea, I love the sun, Lord, I love this land. No matter where I go, Jamaica is my home. I love the girls, smoke and water and white rum. I hear some people say they are going away. But if I even leave, I won't be going away to stay. I'm a part of Jamaica, I'm a son of the sun. I love the sea, I love the sun, the Lord of all this land. No matter where I go, Jamaica is my home. I love the first coconut water and white rum. I'm a part of Jamaica, I'm a son of the sun. I love the sea, I love the sun, the Lord, I love this land. No Jamaica is my home. I love the girls, coconut water, and rum. My heart, Jamaica, I'm a son of your son. I love the sweet, I love the song, and I love the song. Matter where I go, Jamaica is my home. I love the girls, coconut water, and rum. I love the girls, coconut water. I love the girls, coconut water. I'm feeling up for you, Jamaica. I love peace and love. I'm dreaming of a new Jamaica, a land of peace and love. Them say they got to feel at home, that's why they keep me strong. I know you know from here, that's why I wrote this song. So let me tell you all the people know. I never sing this song, all the people know. I never sing this song. La 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 Festival is here, everyone is here. We feel so free, we have no fear. By living in a peaceful family, it's the greatest blessing of mankind. People don't know how much of them do. Everyone going to look so cute. I'm going to step out of prison free. To step in a love and harmony. I saw me rocky up in rocky back. Everyone a rocky in a jam. I saw the jammy and the jammy back. This is time we really got to move. Now if we draw one side from pain and fear, no one must go to come here. Remember now that you're feeling strong. You hate the sick and the scared one. I saw me rocky and the rocky back. Everyone I love up in a jam around. I saw show me back. This is time you really got to move. I am the catchy, you the catchy back. Everyone I work up in a camera. I am the catchy, you the catchy back. This is time you really got to move. So sorry, you never see it down. So come to my nice down. So baby, man, lift on your face this soon. Here and there, from here to Roman's moon. You make me laugh first without that love. We never run till we come down. And so they should be up, they should be back. Everyone I love up in a camera. And so me rubby up, me rubby back. This is the time we really got to move. I am the catchy, you the catchy back. Everyone I love up in a camera. And then we dash me up, we dash it back. This is time we really got to move. And so we love it back. Everyone I love up in the camera. And so we love it back. I have got this feeling, a very high feeling. And when I get this feeling, I know something is in the air. Love fever is everywhere. Oh, the father with the nurse, the father with the rock. The fever is everything from promotion. The father called the nurse, said no to that. I think I'm the avocado promotion. Fever in the air, spreading everywhere. Feel it all around. This fever go mash it down. This will lift you high. High fever make you high. High fever make you high. High fever make you high. And you will sing it. Ooh, right through old Jamaica, on a profile with them darker, them burning hot with fever. The God farmer lives in the air. This fever is everywhere. So send on the nurse, send on the doctor. This fever is everything from motion.
Yeah, man, this is the independent show on the www.mhtmusic.live. Memories Hometown Radio, Roger Konkrete Hasfal here. And of course, you don't know, so it's Independence Day, so we're having fun. See? So, yeah, man, we're rolling into some good old 19, early 80s dancehall now, you know. Yeah, man. All right, so we'll kick off this segment with the man, Yellow Man. Yeah, man. Here we go.
Well, you see this really have a patch. Yellow Man made it. And you see after we don't make it. We step it. Zungo, zungo, go, zungo, zen. Zungo, zungo, go, zungo, zen. Say if you have a paper, you must have a pen. And if you have a star, you must have a head. Say 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. And if you have 4, you put them in a pen. And if you have a rooster, you must have a head now. Zungo, zungo, go, zungo, zen. Zungo, zungo, go, zungo, zen. Jump the happiness and jump the joy. You know we call Yellow Man no boy. Lady and they used to take the toy. Great and Lord them call him John. You know we call Yellow Man no boy. You know we call John no boy. You know we take Iron 90 boy. Zungo, zungo, go, zungo, zen. Watch it. Zungo, zungo, go, zungo, zen. Catch it. Zungo, zungo, go, zungo, zen. 00119. Yellow Man make you feel so fine. Me chat and me lyric, me chat him in a rhyme. Me not beat like me full of a rhyme. Cause Yellow Man in a come make no crime. Zungo, zungo, go, zungo, zen. Zungo, zungo, go, zungo, zen. Hey, push on pen, push on pen. Hey, push on pen, push on pen. Zen, paper, you pass me the pen. But tell the yellow man I'm too much girlfriend. Can't nobody matter for me now and no girlfriend. You are idiot, boy, they have a bunch of that pen. Say all of them a be yellow children. All of them a be yellow children. Some live a Kingston, and some a be a pen. None of them a ask me how me and my girlfriend too. Arguments are having no arguments more. Arguments are having no arguments. We get up in the house of parliament. The prime minister is right and the keep silent. And two yellow man are chat intelligent. They put in the court judge say you're innocent too. Arguments are having no arguments. Santa should have been the girlfriend. Hey, lady Annie should have been the girlfriend. Make a zungo 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 zen. Hey, you know you don't be happy or joy. You know the call yellow man no boy. Nobody take chunch of the toy. We bread I are then call you right. Zungo 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 zen. Watch it. Zungo 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 zen. You make a violent. You smoke night shit. You did it violent. You go down silent. But tell the yellow man come to tell them again. You live a Kingston or you live a Maypen. Say if you have a rooster, you must have a hen. And if you have a star, you must have a hen. But watch yellow man come to rock them again, Lord. Zungo 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 zen. Watch it. Zungo zungo zen. Hey, jump the happiness and jump the joy. You know fi take yellow man the boy. You know fi take yellow man the toy. Zungo zungo zen. Watch it. Zungo zungo zen. Hey, push something. But take the yellow body sit sound like FM. The other reservoir sound like AM. But take the yellow man come to rock them again. You could have never Kingston, Moby or Maypen car. Zungo zen. Hey, zungo zen. Hey, no fi call yellow man no boy. Jump the happiness and jump the joy. Zungo zen.
Do you take this man for your lawful husband? Yes, I do. And do you take this lady for your lawful wife? Yes, I do. I'm getting married in the morning. Ding dong, you hear the church bell ring. She had me hello baby, and I'm gonna mind it. So take me to the church on time. Oh, you me man. Say if you think I'm sexy, your little girl reach out and touch me. If you really need me, your little girl reach out and tell me. And give me your loving, give me your loving. Don't forget about the all light squeezing. Don't forget about the loving and teasing. I'm getting married in the morning. Ding dong, you hear the church bell ring. She had me hello baby, and I'm gonna mind it. So take me to the church on time. Oh, give me man. Say on my way, me I go have a beacon. On my way, me I go have a beacon. Me go up me wife, we name Susan. Say like me husband, I beg you sing a love song. If you ever change your mind about leaving me behind, say honey, bring it to me, bring your sweet loving, bring it along to me, yeah. Say that my wife is a part of my life, my wife is a part of my life. Say some are married and some are divorced. Some of them are talk about married life through post. But tell you yellow man, the girls them love the most. But when they come to my yellow man, they can toast. I'm getting married in the morning.
The yellow man when you go Susan, eh?
Why if I can't take it no longer? I just can't take it no longer. See? Why she rule me like what? I'm getting divorced in the evening. Oh, Bob Susan get a lot of beating. Why? Me give her plenty money to look up for me yellow baby. So take me to the family court and time. But listen man, me just up in in a jacket, me this up in a tie. As we reach the court, the girl a tell lie. The judge say, I know you never love that guy. They tell me her Anna why she married I. Put her in the kitchen to fry some chicken. Put her in the kitchen to boil some rice. When me see when she do the bad Jesus Christ, she burn up the chicken and go curry the rice. I'm getting Jesus in the evening. Book back Susan, get a lot of eating. Me give her plenty money to look up for the yellow baby. So take me to the family court and police man. Me want Susan, she have plenty man. She have 3 of them, we live a Portland. Say one of them man, one of them a Byron, and one of them a soldier in a up park. Me pack up the thing and go through the door. Me wave my hand and say goodbye Susan. Say I'm going to take it till she sing one song. Come back, darling, give me another try. For you, I'm really satisfied. Yeah.
Under 17, now you're over 16. Under 17, now you're over 16. I beg you rock out for me. Because I want general in the hour. I want general. Roger Hasfal. Arlene, I want to see you with the G. Arlene, I want to see you with the G. Because I'm waiting for the O's in speed. We go check out the girl Arlene. Arlene, I want to see you with the G. Arlene, I want to see you with the G. You shouldn't sign the gabardine. You shouldn't sign the gabardine. You say, go watch it up the street. You say, go watch it up the street. Arlene, I want to see you with the G. Arlene, I want to see you with the G. Every time she sees me, she want ice cream. Hold up on her arm and she started to speak. Arlene, I want to see you with the G. Arlene, I want to see you with the G. She said the girl Arlene, she love weird green. Every time you check her, she a move saucy. When we take her out, she wouldn't stop eating. Now they should have hear her just a ask me the beat. 1 little beans, 2 little beans, 3 little beans, and a more beans, please. Arlene, I want to see you with the G. Arlene, I want to see you with the G. This is the hit. See how we will else we go from the beat. When we take her stop, she get.
Oh God Almighty, what type of world are we living in? What type of world are we living in? What type of world are we living in? Shall we live with us? What type of world are we living in? From 1976, I'm listening up to 81. From 61, we ain't much of the land. We and them get them into so much fun. Let's remember every 60 times I'm the mother one. What if I miss a remedy on this one on the one? But you reap a fire shot and just go listen to it back. For the fire shot and then I'm down on lick it back. I'm fix a fire shot and I'm going to lick it back. Have a fire shot and me say get the fire back. It go goodbye, 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 bye, 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 bye. Goodbye, 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 bye, bye, bye. Can we put you in civilian, at Christian, the Batuka, and the Renata? Get the one you are politician. Anyway you go, you want to understand. When leave a fire shot, jungle is a lick it back. For the fire shot, them a tongue on lick it back. Every kitchen fire shot, and all the tongue on lick it back. Now a fire shot, and any fire lick it back. Go, go, fire, 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 fire. What kind of world are we living in? What type of world? Wanna be bigger than turn me loose now. Take these chains from off my feet. I want to rock to the blues. Turn me loose now. Take these shackles off my feet. I want to rock to the blues. It's been so long since I'm down here in the state. Boy, we've got to fight for our rights. Boy, we've been fighting day and night. Oh Lord, the freedom we've got to have in this night. Go away with your partiality. Oh now, we want you So turn me loose now. Take these chains from off my feet. I want to rock to the blues. Turn me loose now. Take these shackles off my feet. I want to rock to the blues. Whoa. Yeah, in smoking sense of me, yeah. You gotta give them some praise unto the Almighty Lord, gotcha. Oh yeah, yeah. Murder. Make it up, give them the home, catch a man, make it up, give them the home, yeah. It inspire me to be a my Jonathan. The mask with them like around the amplifier. The thing when they start the start of my gunshot. They can't just lyrics and don't hear me utter. So if you want to add that to a teenager, say every day you wake, you can read a chapter. Beginning now, wisdom is the fear of Jah. The bottomless pit, make me throw Lucifer. Let it when we go jam and let it be silver. Them king me over and rape me mother. The children from the wonderful land of Africa. The slave in the plantation owner. Let it when we go jam and them call me nigga. The bungo wearing up eyes upon the nation. Let it be say we ignorant and inferior. And how them intelligent and superior. Through the complexion of them skin color. But I as a youth born as a super. The better than the light from a tarantula. You hear me as I come through the speaker. But it sounds sweeter with the echo chamber. Say art with the root seed with the culture. Say SPC as the earth like a ruler. Say once as a lamb going to the slaughter. Now they conquer the lion of the tribe of Judah. You can't hit a Zion with a bushmaster. A M16 or a revolver. Set on a Babylon with your ammunition. That is some of the ultimate destruction. Up and live on the version. Hail Jamaica, and live on the version. Who's here? Jamaica, that's what I do. Me walk on the street and go off for food. I ride to the dance like a little. If I tell the sit and stool, now black me down, now black me ribs and me chest, me spider me back. Just a packet of flat with soul, I rock up with me chat. Cap on the back of the book, on the cap on the back of my bass, and trouble at top way, and no more they go, no add electricity can be a shock. No free for the mouse, no free for the rock. Start for the back, me reach the top. Eat on the snack, the back of the top, me roll the little, the cup, the top. Me up bread, get me no eat the snack, come from here, eat me no scope, no fat. Give me a trade, me head in no black, no live in a house, me live in a flat. Lucky here with this really drop your head, your toe, your body, your back. From the body, mic, side, with the top, no snack, but I'm a bunch of a top. African, none of the iron I spot. Eat them a trouble, Jack, and turn him back, me pray to Jack, me never will stop. Who worship Satan, and foolish idiot. Jack, no bread, me little cannot. Who get a bullet, no Mr. Sadat. After the gun, public fire shot. Malcolm X, take it on the spot. Up in a Zion, the righteous attack. Down in a hell, the wicked a rap. The sweets a singer, a sugar miner. The mother's coming, then I kill it, rat. Jackal a turn in a vampire back. But when him see some, he can't take that. You can't even that. The use can't tap for them. For the mic is the bear chat. Not so long, Jawa from the land. The beast so righteous as the man. Charlie the Maccabee knife man. Preaching of to man and woman. Be crucified by the Roman. They did it to cross 3 foot on the man. Rise again, the resurrection. But I him create the earth and the man. 36 years and 27. Give riches to King Solomon. Make him wiser than another man. He could make me out of that. Living in Babylon as a black man. When I'm the yes, racialism. When me read, they set up the strong. When me write, they set up the wrong. Two me not check the politician. Not here who win the election. Fan they might be please everyone. Actually don't be corruption. They got them. We think of it. We give just one. They got them. We think of it. We give just one.
Originally my name is one of just songs. Manubalaba, Manubalaba, Yakia, Manubalaba, Manubalaba, Yakia, just let me go, just let me go, just let me go, just let me go. The upper way before the other will leave alone. But no, we can want to let a kingdom. Me look up into things and me hate wisdom. Dignitary stylish and never come from the slum. Sometimes calm me, I'm on nothing, don't steal me. Now, because me never pick up no gun. Me now, I'm not thinking people shoot me brother don't come. Just let me come, just let me come, Lord. Just let me come, just let me come. But no back juice, no jive, gun, no cocaine, no rock opiate, young. Nobody use your nose like a bucket, young. No matic, I say no man, no. No heroin, I say no wine, rum. Look into things and you be get with, dumb. Well then the thing will make your body come, down. Just let me come, Lord. Just
Just said we come, but I love him enemy and I love him friend. A long time, Jah Jah, me say it a want them. Say from Nazareth and me say back to Bethlehem. And then they make a move up in a Jerusalem. And all over the world, me just a preach it to them. Say in a Jah Jah, I will me put me confident. And anywhere me go, me have no argument. Say this is guarantee 100%. Yes, just said we come, just said we come, Lord. Just said we come, just said we come. But from the rhythm when me come to sit down, the rhythm when me sit down and the computer down. Well, it's a dignitary with the lyrical tongue. Me black it up and I'm just
Yeah, man. So we close out Independence Day celebrations 2024 on the www.mhtmusic.live here on Memories Hometown Radio. Yeah, man. That's been good being with you this year. And of course, this is the Independence Show. And of course, you can catch me with some nice little features going forward again, you know. You don't know, so we take back a good certain way. So on the Memories Hometown, you can listen out to podcasts, you can listen out to good music, good authentic music from them time then. Beyond, and of course, we're gonna have some nice little discussion program as well. So just wanna keep it locked same way. Seeing, all right. Sports, of course, you don't know, so the Olympic time, and Jamaica so far has gathered 4 medals at the Olympics, 3 silver. Today we got a silver. We had Wayne Pinnock winning the silver in the long jump. Before that, we had Kishane Thompson winning the 100-meter silver, and Shanika Ricketts. She also had the silver in the women's triple jump, and there was Rajendra Campbell. He took the bronze medal in the men's discus throw. Seeing? So yeah, man. So go on, keep it locked right here. You don't know, so we'll continue the rotation on the Memories Hometown Radio, www.mhtmusic.live. And we close out with Liquid Twitch saying, respect you. So it's a big respect to all the persons who are keeping it locked on the Memories Hometown.
No respect to we see or even own any. Even care for dog or a monkey. No take the job by jack, I want to for it. Hey boy, listen to me. I'm gonna respect you because I respect you. Man, I'm gonna say that carry you to respect.